Okay, so this is what the erosion is looking like. I'll get a better overall view, but it's this tall, steep ridge right here. And then along this ridge, you can clearly see all these washes and how that eventually ends up into the pond. You can see how dirty the pond is. And we've done some plug planning and stuff in here, as we talked about in a previous video, but also probably gonna do a couple extra things. One thing I observed is if you stack stuff inside like there, if there's piles of rocks or sticks and stuff in these ruts, it'll kind of collect debris and stuff and dam it off. And so we were going to use some of these mesquites that we trimmed, and we're probably going to stuff it in these channels, and hopefully as the rain washes, you know, pebbles and dirt and stuff down there, it'll catch in these little blocks that we create, and we can gradually fill these in and overseed them with seeds and stuff. But I'm going to do a quick little demonstration of what the water does on here and how it doesn't infiltrate into the soil very well. So basically does that. It carries with it dirt and stuff. As you can see, just from this, water hits and it kind of, even that little bit that I just did, dug this down a little bit further and carried dirt downhill. So it's pretty clear, and you can see right here, that was from a recent very light rain. It was like 0.2 of an inch of rain, and you could see where it washed that out, just right there and right there. And then also right here, it did the same thing. So this is a pretty big problem, and I actually observed in the pond around this side of the bank, I'm sure it's the same over there because it's basically the same on these three sides, but it is extremely shallow. You'd think with this steep of a slope it'd be pretty deep pretty quickly, but it is very shallow for quite a ways. It's like the slope is like almost flat, and so that's telling me that there is a ton of sediment running off from here and filling in this pond, and so that's contributing to it overflowing. Back over here you can see how it is kind of overflowing right now, but all of this stuff on this hill is filling into the pond, making the pond more shallow, and therefore holding less water, less total water. And whenever we get larger rain events, because this can hold less water, it overflows more frequently, and it overflows around that end all the way back around to here, and then there's an area next to the road that floods. And I would like to be able to keep more of this water because we have pretty frequent droughts, and sometimes those droughts are pretty severe. And so I would like for at least this main pond, this doesn't ever go dry, but it does waste and lose a lot of water by flooding back over there. So if we can get a handle on this erosion control and maybe later do a little bit of excavating work and then dam off that side over there whenever we get large rain events that come from back here and flow down here, we'll be able to hold more of that water instead of flooding out there and flooding the road and stuff like that. So we really gotta figure out this erosion. It's one of the more important projects we're doing currently on the property, amongst others. Okay, today we're back here at the main pond doing some more work on erosion. We watered some of the plugs we planted. You can kind of see the wet spots. But also, we bought some stone, this crushed stone here,
And we also collected some of the stone that was already here. Like, you kind of see it scattered around. We collected some of that on this back side, back over here, and we gathered it up along with the crushed rock we bought, and we're starting to pour it into these channels where erosion's getting bad. You can see right here we did it. And we probably should have bought more and collected some more, but we got tired. It's pretty hot out here, so we did what we could for the time being. See, we did some more, and then back over there we did some. Hopefully that plus all the plants we planted will help out with erosion. And back over here, one second. You can see we used most of the gravel that we bought down here. And this is a little channel. It's starting to get filled in by the salt grass, but it still erodes. And so in the meantime, hopefully to kind of slow that water down and to let this fill in better, all of that gravel we poured in there should kind of slow it down and prevent all the washing from the beach right there. So we did that here, and then there's another pretty deep channel over here, which we did not do this time, but next time we come out and collect rock from the area, we'll probably fill in right in this channel here, and then hopefully by filling that in we slow the water down and it encourages some of this stuff to grow in and fill in this area. But that's what we just got done. Okay, might be hard to hear because it's so windy, but here we've got some more plants we're going to use for erosion control. We're going to put it right there along this channel here that drains off into the pond. Hopefully we can get it there, and then it'll spread around here, kind of form a carpet that slows down this erosion. It's got blue grama and buffalo grass as a mix. And down here, we've got some more. So we'll get both of these in the ground. Even though it is not an ideal time to be planting plugs or anything like that, this one at least is in a pretty big pot, and so the root system's pretty developed. And I think if we soak the bottom of the hole before we plant it, it should be able to pull through. And these, you know, are super drought tolerant, so hopefully we have some pretty good luck with this. Here we are, we have finished planting some more for the erosion control. Hopefully we get this stuff to spread. As you can see, we got stolons coming off of this buffalo grass, so I made sure to give them soil contact. So hopefully that node there roots, and then it continues to spread up along here. Same thing over here. Got a stolon going here. I made sure to have that node contact the ground, so hopefully it sends roots, and then it continues to spread up in this, and then forms a mat, so we can slow and prevent more of this erosion over time. Okay, we are pretty close to our road, and the idea here is to kind of create a little bit of a screen, a privacy screen, partially because later we might start a homestead out here and put a house out here, and so we want the privacy there. And also we want to discourage poaching, because I had heard of people doing like drive-by shootings of deer, and then they'll walk out and drag the deer back to their pickup and keep it. So I kind of want to avoid that. This being a wildlife property, I really don't want people poaching it, and so we're going to do a little privacy screen. Because this is such a long screen, it's kind of hard to plant a bunch of collected local natives, and so we decided to try these out. These Oriental Thuyas. And they're hardy, and they are one of the better options for a privacy screen around here, except for, you know, some of the native junipers. But we couldn't find any of those locally available or in our price range, so these were the cheapest and most sufficient option for the job. And we've also got some western soapberry that I collected, which tends to form thickets, and a lot of times grows on these ditches and creates a barrier, which is good. So maybe that'll keep some privacy in here and discourage poaching, but we're gonna get these planted in here. Okay, and so we are finished with today's planting of the privacy screen. We're gonna do more, but this is gonna be it for today. We planted those other trees and now we're finishing up with this western soapberry. And we've had good weather and it just rained and stuff, so that plus we gave it a good watering. We soaked the bottom of the hole before we did it, and this soil is pretty good. It's pretty crumbly and dark, and as you can see, it's not too bad. So I think if we get some pretty good fall rains, this will probably be just fine. But okay, we are back over by the cottonwoods and the other trees that we netted because of grasshopper damage, and it's been a little bit since we've done that, but this is going to be a little update on how they've recovered since we netted them up. And as you can see, there was not one leaf on this entire tree before, but now you can see it's recovering quite nicely. The nets seem to be doing their job, so we're probably going to leave these up on the trees themselves until fall temperatures get down below where the grasshoppers are active, because I'd hate to just take it off now and then lose all the recovery that it got. So yeah, we'll probably wait until the fall before we take these off. And next year we're probably not going to be able to net them unless we get a different net, because they're going to grow. Cottonwoods grow really fast, so they might outsize our nets. But here's the other one. It also recovered pretty good. It's got a lot of fresh new leaves, and it looked pretty rough before. You can see where they nibbled off the ends of the twigs and stuff, but we got some recovery. So hopefully grows a little bit more before this fall. This will be its first growing season in the ground. And then I'm hoping after the roots establish this year, that next year this thing will shoot up, because I know a lot of times when you transplant into the ground, the first year is more of letting the roots get established, and then it's a little bit windy, and then, you know, the second and third year on is whenever they start to take off. So hopefully that happens.